Today we finished the chassis. It's episode 4 of the mini project, and in the last episode, if you missed it, we've got the steering in. This is the steering set from Yeah Racing. You can see there, looks really nice. I'll talk about it in a minute, got a few issues with it. We also got the Power HD servo in there, really nice. It was only £13, but it's a really quick servo. And also got the motor in as well, which you can see there. Standard Tamiya silver can. I'll be changing that out later for an upgraded one, but not for now. Just leave it as it is. But yeah, the steering, I'm really disappointed in this steering set. It looks really nice, as you can see there, with the nice Yeah Racing logo just there. Looks really nice and moves really freely, but there's a load of play in the actual steering assembly. See if I can show you this properly. It's better on this side, or worse on this side. You see that there? There's a load of play in this post here. I managed to swap the bearings out for the Boom Racing ones in these pivots here, and there's virtually no play in this post here. It's an ever so slight bit of movement, but that doesn't bother me. But in this post here, you can clearly see there's a load of play. It's like a mil, 2 mils of play, which is really bad. So I need a shim to put in there just to cinch that down and make sure that's all nice and strong. There's no play in there. And also in this front arm, you can see that moves quite a lot as well. There's a tiny little bearing encased inside here, which it doesn't fit properly, doesn't fit tight, doesn't fit snug. It's quite loose in there. So yeah, I need to see what I can do about that, because that's quite a lot of play as well. And in the whole steering assembly, you can see it's really wobbly. So I want to sort that out. If you know of any shim sets I can get, like shims of various sizes in a little set, that'd be really handy. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can sort out that steering. I'd like to do it on the TTO one as well, the drift project. But yeah, that's my little gripe with that. A little bit disappointed, but it still looks good. So today, all we're going to do is fit the electronics, stick a battery in, put the battery holders in, and fit the wheels. And then we'll be done with the chassis. Now turn it on, see if we can get it to go, and then we'll be moving on to the body. So hope you enjoy this episode, and let's see what we can achieve. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is attach these little plates. This is for the ESC and this is for the receiver. They go either side of the servo at the back here. So one fits in like that. It's got a little switch as well for the power on off. So that goes there, and that one goes on that side like there. And they're held in with these countersunk, little tiny countersunk screws on the bottom. So you can see there's little countersunk holes there. They fit in nice and flush, so they don't catch on the ground. Just there. So you don't need to see me screw that in, it's pretty obvious. I'm going to quickly do that now and show the results. So there we go, super quick, really simple. So receiver on that side, ESC on that side, and 4 holes on the bottom. Yeah, sorted. On to the next step. So now we're going to put the electronics in. This is the Tamiya TBLE02S. This is the Tamiya ESC that comes with all the standard kits, or the standard ESC that comes with all the kits. Whichever way you want to put it. It can run brushed or brushless motors, censored brushless motors. You can see the sensor plug there. So yeah, that's the ESC, and this is the receiver. This is for my Absima CR3P receiver. That's the part number if you want it. These receivers go for about £20. Don't know whether you can see that there. I'm focusing. And it is waterproof as well. Had no problems with this receiver at all. Really good receiver. So yeah, that's what we're putting in. Now you can see the Tamiya ESC has a Tamiya plug, and I'm going to be swapping this out for a Dean's one, but not today, I don't have time. But yeah, I'll be swapping this out, but for now I'll just use it as it is. So I've also got the double-sided sort of servo tape just to attach it to the car that came with the kit. This stuff's really good. You can see it's black there. Some people use the white stuff from what's the company called? The Sellotape company. And it's quite strong, but not as strong as this stuff. This stuff's super strong and really difficult to get off. So yeah, definitely recommend this sort of stuff. Use this stuff from the kit rather than sort of normal stationary type. So yeah, we're going to put them in now and I'll wire it up later on. So that's pretty much the only orientation that the ESC will go in. These wires are ridiculously long for such a small radio control car, but well. So yeah, that pretty much clips in there and just stays there. There's a tiny little notch there which holds it in place. So I want to stick that there. There you go. It's just gone down there. Yeah, and then I'm not going to bother tidying these wires now. I'll do that off camera. You don't need to see me do that. Yeah, that's pretty much the location of that. So that's pretty good. Maybe cut a little bit off that. Where's the scissors? Okay, just going to trim a little bit off. I don't like having it sticking out the edge, simply because it's just going to attract dirt. Perfect. So peel one side off. Really sticky stuff, so I'm going to get it straight on there. Like that. And that will just sit in there. So may as well do this on camera. Okay. And once you press this down firmly, it's probably not going to come off without using a second load of the sticky back stuff, so make sure it's where you want it before you stick it down. There you go, that's pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Sorted. And now the receiver. So yeah, it's quite a small receiver compared to the old sort of megahertz days. We had 27 megahertz and 45, I think it was. So that would just fit there. Remember, you've got the antenna as well. There's a little antenna guide. So that sort of attaches up there. So it's whichever way you want it, really. So I'm going to do it like that. So I can have the receiver wires run around the back of the servo, so they don't interfere with this arm. So they go around the back there and plug in down there. So I think that's how I'm going to stick it. So, and then place that in straight. So think about, it's not quite central. There you go, good enough. Sorted. So I have the rear axle on the other side, you can see there, all nice and free spinning. Obviously it's rear wheel drive, so there's no drive going to there, hence why it looks like that. There's no actual drive cup on the end, it's just like a little flange. It's meant to hold two bearings, and then it's held on by the wheel and the hex hub. So, but what I don't understand is that in the instructions it tells you to fit the bearings now when the suspension is already assembled, which is quite difficult. You can't really get your finger behind there to push the bearing in. So undo the screw pin at the bottom and lift it up, and you've got easy access to fit the bearing up through there, and then one in the top there, and then just grease the axle with a little bit of this Tamiya grease, run it out like that. Just put a bit on there, doesn't have to be too much, and then slide that through there. It's much easier doing it like this. Spin it around a little bit, make sure some of the grease has got through. Stick a wheel nut on the end just to make sure that it doesn't actually fall through, like that, and then reattach the screw pin at the bottom. Push it through first, like that. So I don't know why Tamiya tells you to do that step now when it's already assembled. It actually says in the instruction book to reach behind there and push it in, and I did try it and it's quite difficult, so I think that's a much better way of doing it. It's definitely going to speed up the process. So there you go, just a little tip there. So now it's time to fit the aluminium hex adapters from Boom Racing. Got the nice chrome silver colour, look really nice. And these can actually, they've got little hex bolts going through there, and you can actually tighten them onto the wheel, the axles there, and it will limit the play in the actual wheel, which is good. And they're super light as well, there's hardly any weight to them. So we shall fit them now. I'm only going to show you fitting one, don't need to show you fitting four. First we're going to want to put the bearing in. The bearing's in on the other side. But we're going to push this on. Really nice bearings, they fit really tight, which means they've got good measurements on them. There we go. So these are the standard Tamiya plastic hex adapters. So they're alright. I've actually broken one of these on the rally project. So they do take some abuse before they break. Took about 7 years to break one, but I quite like the look of the aluminium ones. So the first thing you're going to want to do, this is a 1.5mm hex driver. You've got the little tightening hex there. So you just want to screw that in loosely for now. There you go. No need to do any more. And this is the little pin that goes through the hole on the axle there. Now what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of grease behind there just so it's all nice and free moving. You don't have to, but I just like to do it anyway. And then put a bit on the other side as well. And then once that's spinning up, it should spread around nice and evenly. We'll attract a bit more dirt, but I just like to do it just to make sure these bearings are nice and protected. And then you just want to slide that on, and then turn it round, and then tighten that onto the actual axle, and then that will just limit the amount of play around the wheel. So yeah, they look really nice. Really like the look of them. Sort of, you've got the three colours there, you've got the orange, the blue and the silver. So that looks really nice. I've obviously done the rear as well. Done the rear that side and the front there. So yeah, happy with them, look really nice. So now we're on to wheels and tyres and foams. Nice that they include this little foam. It's quite a soft, quite cheap foam, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not too bothered about that anyway. So I've got the tyre here. So I'm just going to feed this in. This may take a little time, so I might speed it up. Just want to feed that round, and it will eventually fill all the tyre. It looks like quite long. And if you just wrap it up, it goes around almost twice. But yeah, once you get that seated in the bead, it fits quite nicely. Just going to sit that in, stuff it all in, make sure it's all nice and even all the way around. Nearly there. I didn't need to speed it up actually. Just stretch the tyre as you go. Yeah, nearly in. Just poke any uneven bits in, straighten it all out. There you go, it's pretty much done. Just poking out that bit there, doesn't really matter. That's the foam in. And then luckily these tyres aren't directional, there's no sort of particular direction, so it doesn't matter either way you mount it, it'll be the same. So these are the Tamiya wheels, these are the mini lights, they look really good, and I am planning on spraying them, so I'm not going to glue the tyres yet, I'm going to do that when I do the body. I might spray the centres, which might look quite good, so I'm not going to glue them yet. But I'm not going to glue the back ones at all, being as there's no power going to them, there's no chance of them slipping really. So I'm not going to bother gluing the rear ones, I'm just going to glue the fronts. And I usually only glue the backs anyway, because if you get glue all over the wheel at the front it looks quite odd. It looks a bit horrible. So I usually only glue the backs. And you only need a little bit as well. So make sure that's seated in the bead, and then push the fronts over. Oop. It's a bit tough on the fingers, but the results look really good. And then if you want to try and seat it properly, just run it up and down the table. I'll just seat it nicely. There you go. And then sorted. So yeah, that looks really nice. Back there. Sorted. So now just time to put them on the car. Awesome. You know what? I was about to sing the praises of Boom Racing. I really was. But there's a problem. Once again, this is the hex adapter from Boom Racing. And if I try and fit that into the wheel, it doesn't fit at all. No matter how hard I push, it's not going to fit on. So that's it, as tight as it will go pretty much. And you can see if I can get this to focus, it may not. You can actually see the hex screw is actually poking out of there, so it's never going to fit on anyway. But if I unscrew that all the way, it still won't fit in. Even if I try and push that opening as sort of till they're both sides are touching, it still won't go in. They don't actually fit. You know, it's about as best as I can get. They won't fit. So I very much doubt it's going to be a Tamiya issue, because if I get one of their standard hex adapters, fitting fine. Look, see, fitting okay. But these Boom Racing ones don't at all. So now I'm going to recruit in some of these orange ones. These are from the drift car. These are from the Yeah Racing suspension kit. Let's see if these fit. Oh look, they do. They fit absolutely fine. So, methinks I'm going to have to use these for now, and I'm going to contact Asia Tees, where I got these from, about these, and say that they don't fit at all. So really disappointed about that. I was really looking forward to using some of them. They look really good, but they don't fit, so I can't. So I'm going to use these ones from Yeah Racing instead, and we're going to mount the wheels on those. So the orange, they still look good. They'll match the shocks, so they're the same orange, and we'll get on with that. So yet another problem. So now the wheels are attached using the Yeah Racing hex adapters, but they still look really good. So that's the rear wheel, spins nice and freely. There's hardly any sort of buckling in the wheel at all. Now these aren't the best cast wheels, they're just cheap, but yeah, it's really straight. The other one, yeah, really good as well. Nice and free spinning. And you got the front ones as well. So yeah, they look really nice. Really happy with them. So unlike these, I'm going to contact Asia Tees about these and let them know that they are absolutely awful. I mean, it's a simple hex adapter. How can you screw up a simple hex adapter? I've actually got some other wheels in here, so we'll see if they fit. These are all 12mm hex. They're 12mm hex as well. It's clear that they fit. So they still don't fit in there properly. And then I'll use another one. This is another Tamiya wheel. That's got a bit of dirt in it, so we don't want to use that. There you go. These are off the original drift car, just here. Yeah, and they still don't fit in there either. So they are not 12mm hexes at all, even though it says on the box. It's a simple task. You think they would have tested them out, but no, obviously not. So I'm going to contact HDs about them and let them know that they don't fit. I also got them for the M06, so not good. But using the Yeah Racing ones, just as good. And they're orange as well, so they match the shocks, even though you can't see them. So happy with that. So I'm going to fit the battery tray covers now, and then hook all the electronics up and see if it actually works. So I've done one side, they're the same both sides. These are the battery holders. It's held in by 2 screws at the top, a little washer. Like that, and one in that side. So give me a sec while I screw these in. There we go. You have to be quite gentle screwing it into there because this is quite soft plastic, so it will strip out really easily. So that's that holder there, and then this simply closes up there and is held in with 2 clips, 2 body clips. And I've got another one. Yep, there you go. And luckily you don't have to bend these ones because they're quite easy to pull out like that. Usually you have to bend these ends up just so you've got a little more grip on them, but you don't have to pull them out. It's easy to pull like that. On that side, and then on that side like that. That's the battery holder. Really simple, and it's the same on that side as well, just upside down. So that's that sorted. So I think what we're going to do now is start up the electronics. Looking at the instructions, all that's left is the body post, but I don't need to worry about that yet because we're not fitting the body. So yeah, let's fire up the electronics and see if they work. We are finally done. It took ages to sort out the electronics. Binding this Tamiya receiver is a right pain. The instructions aren't very clear, so I had to hop onto a YouTube video and check out to see how it worked. But yes, we're all bound. Just forgot to unplug this back in. Everything works. So all we need to do now is sort out the steering, but I'm going to do that off camera. Just sort out the angles. The wheels aren't quite aligned properly, and also got to tidy up all this wiring as well. You can see here it's all over the place. Don't use the orange wire when you're using a brush motor for this ESC. Just tuck this somewhere else. Just using blue and yellow. Yeah, so just got to sort out all this wiring and plumb it all in, make it all look nice. But yeah, it all works. So I'm going to turn it on now, and hopefully it will work for camera. So that's my receiver. It beeps once. You can see I've named it Min for mini. If it was 4, I could have mini across, but obviously not. Put this just there. can see that's better. Front and reverse. We've got steering as well. So all working, all ready, all done. Finally, chassis is finished, all the electronics are in, so we are done with this part of the build. Next up is the body. I'm going to do that a bit later on, possibly in the spring, because it's a bit cold now. If we get a nice warm spell, I'll do it then. I'm thinking of like a burnt orange colour. I've seen it on Model Sport, it looks really nice. There's also a coral blue, which I might go for. Still not sure yet, but I'll be ordering it next week, so I better choose soon. But yeah, that's the chassis done. All we've got to do really to the chassis when we put the body on is do the body posts, and that's it, we're done. It's the chassis of the M05 done. So really happy with it. It's quite a weighty chassis. The weight bias is mainly in the front where all the gears are on the motor, but there is a bit of weight to the back, so it's not too unbalanced. It's quite heavy with the battery in as well. I haven't put the shock oil in yet, I'll wait till the body's on to do that, just so I've got a full sort of full weight on the car, because the body posts and the body and all the attachments for the body are going to add a bit of weight, and I've also got something to add to the roof as well. So I'll wait till all that's done to put oil in the shocks. But yeah, really happy with it, really happy with the kit. Not so happy with Boom Racing for their stupid hex adapters, or Yeah Racing for their sloppy steering, but I'll be sorting that out soon and I'll be sending those back. Yeah, really happy. Hope you enjoyed these 4 episodes. Thanks for watching. The support for the channel is growing every day, getting about 10 to 15 subscribers every day. It's crazy. So you guys are clearly enjoying the content on the channel. Really appreciate your support. And yeah, I'll see you next time on RC Projects. Goodbye.